Okay, another Doom video I want to make. So this one will mostly be about the Doom 2 influences for Doom 4, at least for the old version of Doom 4. Now, I really did like how that version was trying to be a reimagining of Doom 2, just like Doom 3 was to Doom 1. Now, before everyone starts going, oh dude, Doom 3 didn't feel like Doom 1 at all, I can understand that, but it really was. You got a bunch of tech-based themed maps, and Doom 1 was kind of horror-driven in some ways. Like, some levels have dark areas to keep it scary, even though I feel like most people got caught up in the action, so it's really not that effective to, make the player feel afraid. And it still is a simple and intense game, just like Doom 3 was. It's just that Doom 3 lacked the scale of Doom 1, like the monster counts and such. But I liked the game overall, and it's a Doom game to me. Let's be honest, I think that was probably the only interesting thing about the old Doom 4 had going on. Everything else, like the whole Call of Doom thing, it was awful to hear and read. But as you guys should know, Doom 2 is really my favorite Doom game. And obviously making Doom 4 having that Doom 2 influence behind it is a dream come true. Now, I'm aware that people didn't enjoy Doom 2 as much as Doom 1. It was pretty much like an expansion pack, and it didn't really do anything new, but just raised the standards of Doom 1 to a higher level than it originally was. However, Doom 2 did make the franchise a lot more action-based, which was always good for this type of genre. And another thing is, Doom 2 was probably one of the very earliest FPS games with city-themed levels. For its time, it was actually pretty cool to see buildings in first-person perspective, since Doom 1 was mostly tech bases. I agree it doesn't really hold up as well compared to Duke Nukem 3D, but this could be a good influence for Doom 4, since there's not a lot of games nowadays that seem to focus on city-themed levels as much as they should. I think Crysis 2 and 3 are probably the only ones I can really think of right now. But man, I'd rather see Doom do it because, well, I personally think Doom is the better game, and I don't really like Crysis because I just find the game mechanics in that game just don't seem to flow well. While for a game, like Doom and id Software, who's really known for fast-paced action, it could totally work. Going back to Doom 2's city levels, it definitely was the weakest part of the 3 quote-unquote episodes of Doom 2, but I always liked city levels since they are cool to look at, and if it can be pretty easy to navigate as well, if you find the right layout, it can definitely promote exploration and allow players to approach engagement in multiple styles. This is a key design to have if id wants that mass appeal to everyone with their game. Since I did admit that Doom 2 didn't have the strongest city maps, despite when I first played it, it was cool to experience it, but I feel like it just wasn't as good compared to the first episode of Doom 2, and I think it can improve upon that, for Doom 4. I can't think of any specific ideas of what they can do to succeed that, but I know I'm not alone when it comes to having an opinion that the city maps of Doom 2 just wasn't as up to par as it should be. It can, simply use that to improve upon it, since no game is perfect, and that could be a good start. So now we get to the action part, which Doom 2 is definitely known for. Compared to Doom 1 and 3, it's easily the most action-driven Doom game that id ever made and released. I have said that Doom 4 should be the most intense game from id in a long time, and I still believe that should be the case. This can help the game to appeal to new audiences because it looks ridiculous, over the top, and just good fun. Also, there's not a lot of shooters that really are intense in terms of the scale and pacing compared to Doom 2. I personally think Serious Sam is the only one I can think of that is relevant in today's era that is similar to what Doom 2 is offering. But you know what's great for id Software? They got Bethesda on their side. You know Bethesda is going to do some crazy marketing for this game since there's no other AAA games that Bethesda is publishing other than Doom. So this gives Doom a good amount of publicity because I know Serious Sam isn't really on the same level as popularity or budget compared to Doom. But I think it will capture people's interest fairly easily. Like I said, there's not a lot of games that are like Doom 2. Now, to end the video, I want to talk about the new information about the new Wolfenstein game. So at first, I wasn't really too keen on the whole perk system, and I was trying to look for more information about the replay value and level design section, and that was hard to pass by. However, as I waited for a few days to go ahead, I finally got more information about the replay value and level design stuff, and my opinions really changed with the perk system. I actually think it's kind of cool how it's a hybrid of Call of Duty's perk system, but it does feel almost like a power-up system from the older shooters. I think once I get my hands on the game, I really want to see what they do, and I think this is kind of one of the aspects that will increase replay value for the new order. Speaking of replay value, I did read an article where the maps in this game, they will have features where it will promote players to engage how they want to engage. And this kind of reminded... Sorry, I ran out of gameplay footage, but as I was saying, it really did kind of reminded me of Deus Ex, and that's the step to the right direction. I mean, that small mentioning really made my day, because I was wondering if this game could have a good amount of replay value for a single player only game, since nowadays people look at shooters as the multiplayer component to be the thing that keeps the longevity going, but I really don't believe first person shooters need a multiplayer component to have that aspect. With that said, I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's really the Titanfall for me, since everyone is really anticipating that game as far as first-person shooters go, but that game isn't for me. I've seen enough of its content, and I just don't see myself wanting to play it. I do expect Wolfenstein to have some things that will turn me off, but overall, I cannot wait to play it and then be able to try out that Doom 4 beta once time progressed. I have to say, whoever decided to implement the Doom 4 beta in the new Wolfenstein game really knows their focus groups very well.